Hi everyone, my name is Patty and welcome to Relatively Refined. Today's video is a lot like the Vermont weather. There is a lot going on. In this video, we are going to spend some time in the kitchen. We've got some cooking and baking and a couple of projects for the upcoming holidays. I am going to channel my inner bee and get to work on my lemon tree. We have a fantastic, relatively refined segment, and I'm super excited because in this video we are announcing the winner of our 5,000 subscriber giveaway. So if all that sounds good to you, go ahead, pour yourself a cup of tea, and let's get into it. Growing up, I remember my father telling me that in his Christmas stocking, one of the things he always got was an orange. And I didn't think much of it at the time, but to me, one of the smells that triggers memories of Christmas is orange and cinnamon. It's something about orange and spice and cinnamon that really kicks in the memories of Christmas to me and makes me very nostalgic. And so as I'm in my kitchen slicing these oranges, I really am just transported to all the memories of growing up and doing all kinds of holiday activities, and just the smells of orange and cloves, making pomander balls. That all just is very reminiscent of the Christmas holidays to me. And there is just nothing like that smell. So I brought in the bowl of potpourri, which is just, it's cinnamon orange potpourri, and it is just the perfect smell to have next to me while I'm slicing these oranges. But I'm also using it because the orange slices that are in that potpourri are absolutely beautiful, and I was trying to gauge the width of the oranges based upon what was in that potpourri. And shameless plug for that potpourri, we did place another order, so there are a few more bags on the shop. If you have it and have purchased it, you know how incredible this smells. So it was very inspiring having that next to me while I was slicing oranges. Since the point of these oranges is to dry them, I am going to blot these. These were particularly juicy oranges, which I find so funny because often I will buy oranges and they're dry for eating. And of course the ones I'm using to dry out are the juiciest oranges I have seen in quite a while. So anyway, you will want to blot them. It'll just help the process go a little bit smoother. And I'm also grabbing a bowl to keep the ends or the slices that I'm not using, so the ends, and I will put those in a simmer pot with some cinnamon sticks and cloves and just put them on the stove with some boiling or simmering water and let that scent up my house. In addition to the potpourri, that will add another layer of orange spice, which I absolutely love. And ideally you'll want these slices to be between, say, 1/8 and 1/4 inch thick. Mine are closer to the 1/4 inch thick because I kind of want them sturdy enough to hang and hold up. So mine will be drying for a while. And here are these glorious little rays of sunshine that I am going to now pop into the oven. You notice I have space in between them. You do not want to cramp them because, again, you're trying to dry them out, so you need air to circulate all the way around. So there's plenty of space on the parchment for them. I could have done a better job of blotting them as well. And so these will get popped into a 200-degree oven. I'm putting them in for about 2 hours, and I will check them after an hour. I'll probably flip them every hour, and so I would plan between 2 and 4 hours depending on the thickness and how dry you want them. If you're going to use them right away in a cocktail, you could probably go a little closer to the 2 hour mark. But mine are going to be used as decor. I will put them in a bowl with pine cones. I will put them in wreath, and some I will hang on my tree. So I need them to be really dry. And so I am probably going to go a full 4 hours, flipping every hour or so until they're done. If you're making soup, there has to be bread. So I did take the time to make a corn chowder, homemade corn chowder, and I will link the recipe. It is a Pioneer Woman Ree Drummond recipe that I have made several times, and it is so good. I think it is cheesy corn chowder. It's delicious. I've had a few people ask about my sourdough bread. I do love to make sourdough bread, and I've been at it for going on 4 years. And the process takes me a couple of days. So it would not make a very exciting video. And there's a lot of measuring and a lot of steps. And like I said, I start it one day and finish it the next. Full disclosure, my sourdough starter was a gift from my niece in 2020, and knowing her, she lovingly cared for that starter. So it was well established before it even came to me. So I am starting with a leg up in the sourdough baking process. But one of the main reasons I don't do a tutorial on bread making is because there are so many amazing videos on YouTube about how to make sourdough bread and starter that are much better than mine, people who are much more knowledgeable. And so the best I can do is share with you my sources and a little bit about my method that has helped me. One source that I highly recommend is the King Arthur Baking Company. I use the King Arthur flour in all of my bread making and baking, and that's just the only flour I buy. It is a New England-based company. I think they started in Boston, but moved the company to Norwich, Vermont. So it's readily available here in Vermont, but I'm quite sure it is available countrywide. So I highly recommend the product, but also if you go to their website, they have excellent information on sourdough. It gives you a lot of the more technical information because there is a science to it. And when you're first starting out or establishing it, I think it is important to make sure you are aware of the ratios and so forth. So that is definitely a great place to start. My starter is almost 4 years old, so it is really resilient. And once you build up your confidence, then you realize there's not much you can do to really screw it up. And so for my recipe for bread, I go to the website Farmhouse on Boone. Lisa from Farmhouse on Boone has a YouTube channel. The other thing that I learned from Lisa, who I believe learned from someone else, but I learned it through Lisa, is the idea of after the bulk ferment, so that's after you do your stretch and folds and you're just ready to put a tea towel over it and let it bulk ferment for several hours to double in size. After that, I form it into loaves and cover it with plastic wrap and put it in the refrigerator overnight. And this has helped me tremendously because it's not such a daunting task. It's like I can make the bread one day and then it sits overnight and then I pull it out in the morning and heat my oven and I am ready to go. The bread stops rising with the coolness of the refrigerator, and it also gives it kind of a firm texture and makes it really easy to score and to make these steam vents in it. And when the cooler temperature dough hits the heated Dutch oven, it creates a really nice crust and rise. So it's just been a really kind of a game changer for me. I don't have to do everything in one day. And leaving that bread overnight means the next morning I can get up fresh and all I have to do is bake it. And that has just been such a nice change for me. I've never tried this, but Lisa has also put her bread in the refrigerator for several nights. I've kind of forgotten about it, and she said she has had just the same excellent results every time. So I've only ever left it in the refrigerator overnight, but I would not be surprised if it would work either way. And one of my favorite parts of bread making is scoring the top. You can get really creative in creating these steam vents. There's gorgeous patterns you can make. I'm not that creative, so I generally do either an X or a modified tree pattern where I just sort of make a line down the center with some shoots coming off of it. But it is fun and satisfying and just makes your loaf really pretty. It's always like Christmas morning or a cause for celebration when my new country home or any other magazine arrives. It is so fun to look for inspiration. Yes, we all love Pinterest and I love YouTube videos, but there is something about pouring myself a cup of cinnamon orange tea and just flipping through these pages that just gives me inspiration. I can do it at my leisure. I can go back and forth and I can see kind of what's trending, and it just gives me endless inspiration. There was a lot I loved about this page, and particularly in the foreground, that bowl of oranges with, I don't know if those are laurel leaves or sage leaves or just the green and the orange together. I absolutely loved that look. I also took a minute to absorb this place setting because I loved everything about it. I loved the napkins, the charger, the plates, and I really liked the green, the greenery and the little bell tied on the napkin. And it really got me thinking about napkins. I really like napkin folding and just doing different things with cloth napkins for different occasions. So that sort of got my wheels turning. Then this page came and sort of stopped me dead in my tracks. And I had an epiphany, and I think my holidays are going to be a lot of red and silver and black. Here again on this page, I just loved the oranges in the bowl, the pine cones, the candle with the hurricane glass. And other than the dog under the table, my favorite part on this was that champagne bucket with the greens and the branches poking out. I thought that was lovely. And here is where I got inspiration for today's activity. I looked at this place setting right here, and that sprig of, I don't know if that's cypress or juniper, it tucked in the napkin under the ribbon of that napkin on that plate really gave me some inspiration. So out to the garden I went to cut one of my favorite herbs, and that is rosemary. I particularly like rosemary because it is so hardy, and here where I live, we love hardy things. It's so nice to look out and see something green out there. So I came in and pulled out, well, again, I'm drinking my cinnamon orange tea, and I came in to pull out some napkins. So I'm just cleaning up some space here, and I have my rosemary in a glass jar with some water, and I just pulled out a couple of my favorite napkin rings. I have the pewter ones, which incidentally I still have not gotten engraved. That is turning out to be a harder thing than I thought. I pulled out some ribbon, which I actually didn't end up using. I thought about tying it around the napkin, but in the end I just found the ring to be so much easier. I have selected this flax color and black just because I thought those would be, I don't know, I thought the green might look best with either of those. And I initially tried, so here is the pewter with the black, and I just did a straight fold. I slid it through top to bottom and tried to create that nice little indent there. And initially I put the green ribbon through thinking that would be a pretty look like I had seen in the magazine. And I moved on to the flax colored one with the white ceramic napkin ring. And for this, instead of ribbon, I decided to slide the rosemary through like I had seen the pine or the cypress in the magazine. And I decided I really liked the way this looked. I thought it was pretty and natural. And because we use rosemary in a lot of our Thanksgiving cooking, it's in the turkey, I thought it would be a sort of a nice way to incorporate that and mirror what's in our food. So I immediately lost the ribbon and went back to the black napkin with the pewter. And I'm really loving those pewter napkin rings so much. And I'm just kind of pawing through. I sort of thought the rosemary sprig in the last one was a little bit big, so I was kind of searching for a smaller one. And but no such luck. I think I do end up trimming this because it is a little bit big. You'll see at the end. But that was it. I slipped those through, and I really couldn't decide which one I liked better. So I just thought, oh, here I go, fuss, fuss, fuss. I went the other side. Like I said, I like to create a little indent when I'm sliding things in the napkin ring. You'll see it happens naturally when you put a napkin through. So those were the two that I created. And now you'll see I'm going to start trimming these to a different size so I can get a better idea of the size moving forward. Now at Christmas time, this could very easily be, pieces of pine or cypress or juniper, whatever little leaves you have around. I just really like rosemary because I love the smell, and like I said, it is in the turkey, it's in the stuffing. And here I'm going to show you them styled a couple of different ways with the black napkins and the sort of flax colored ones. This is a very casual way to present your napkins, but I think it also could be nice for a rustic Thanksgiving dinner. This ended up being what I left out on the table for us for dinner. I did end up going with the pewter napkin rings and the flax colored napkins and set the table, and we had bread and soup, and it was just a lovely dinner. Well, it was a good run, but my zinnias have finally succumbed to a killer frost. I got so much joy out of these zinnias this year. I just can't tell you. Well, you probably know because I was out in almost every video cutting, trimming, and I'm sure sad to see them go. I just wanted to show you this. We had snow and it all melted when it hit the ground, but this snow stayed on the wreath around the pumpkin, and so it looks like it's just sitting with a white halo around it. It's so pretty. It's hard to see, there's my urn, but isn't that so pretty? And the grass you can see is green. But I just thought that was so beautiful. I had to come out and share that with you. I took this video over the summer, and it is now time for me to channel my inner bee and pollinate my lemon tree. So I have brought it in for the winter, and I'm going to have to play the role of the bee. So using a paintbrush, I gently rub the paintbrush against the male flower part, which is the stamen, and try to get some pollen on the brush. And then I very gently try to transfer that pollen to another flower, to the stigma. The stigma is the top of the pistil. It is like the little knob at the top of the pistil, and it is sticky. And it is sticky for that reason, right? So the pollen can stick to it, and that's the idea. So I am really trying to play the role of a bee and hope for the best. And if I got any of my flower anatomy wrong, I apologize. I'm literally channeling my high school biology, where I used a lot of mnemonics to practice and to learn things. And I remember the stamen is the male part because it has the word men in it. That's how I remembered it. And the stigma is one of the female parts because it had the word ma in it. High school biology was a very, very long time ago for me, and it is not something I studied in college, so I am really going way back. So I apologize if I'm getting any of this information incorrect. You can let me know. But the point is, I really hope to have lemons, so stay tuned. This week's Relatively Refined is from viewer friend Kate from Texas. She shared these two beautiful Nippon pieces. The little plate belonged to her mom, and she considers it among her treasures. Years later, while Kate was about to exit an antique shop, she glanced down at a china cabinet and saw that incredible scent bottle in the very same Nippon pattern. Also on this table full of treasures, there are Kate's dad's hunting dog prints and his duck calls. The prints were from a good friend of her dad's who was stationed in France during World War II, and he bought those prints for her dad from the artist himself on the streets of Paris. The cranberry flash glass bowl and the tiny little books were from an estate sale. Kate, thank you so much for sharing your treasures with us and the stories behind them. If any of you viewers would like to have one of your refines featured on our Relatively Refined segment, go ahead and send an email with a photo to the address on the screen, and we will do our best to get it into an upcoming video.
Hey everyone, this is Paula jumping into Patty's video. I am right here packing up our 5,000 subscriber giveaway prize, so I wanted to announce the winner. I will put the name right here on the screen as well. Congratulations to Judith Scherer. She is our 5,000 subscriber giveaway winner. Judith, I hope I am saying your name properly. It's Sharrar. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Anyway, congratulations. Go ahead and email us your contact information at relativelyrefined@gmail.com so that we can pack this up and get this shipped out to you. Thank you so much to everyone who participated, and thank you all for helping us get to 5,000 subscribers. We appreciate each and every one of you. And now, on to 10,000.
All right, everyone, that'll do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you are not a subscriber, please go ahead and do so. We'd love to have you join us. And if you're looking for more Relatively Refined content, follow us on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Relatively Refined, and head on over to our website, relativelyrefined.com, where we have a blog and a shop where we share recipes and craft projects and so much more. All right, everyone, thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next video.